Kyle here from allmusikreviews.blogspot.com. Here to do more like artist review, feature, collection, showing, and relatively briefly as possible. I've been kind of trying to figure out what artists to do, like I did Jellyfish a few days ago. There's a whole lot. There's dozens to varying degrees of familiarity and obscurity. I was thinking of looking to do the band Mew. I love the band Mew, and I'm going to be doing something with the band Mew involving some fans soon, but that will be put on hold for, I don't know, tomorrow or sometime later this week or next week, because I'm looking for my collection, all the rarities and stuff like that. So instead of Mew today, I'm going to do a band I got into around the same time as Mew, a band called Kiss Kiss, who I've really meant to talk more extensively about in the blog, at times even, but of course on video here. So Kiss Kiss are they're sort of a progressive punk, or they call them indie rock, whatever, progressive indie. They came around the mid 2000s. They came up, and I don't know exactly where I was introduced to them. I'm thinking it was through MySpace, because I associate them with MySpace first, but it was sometime in 2006. So they feature a violin, and they have a lot of sort of shorter, very tight, quirky songs with a lot of instrumentation. Because they have their progressive rock influence and their punk influence. But I don't know. I mean, they were very clever, and some of the members, like the front man, singer, guitarist named Josh Banash, has also done other work, which I'm going to briefly mention as well after I talk about Kiss Kiss themselves. The name comes from a Roald Dahl novel. I think it's the chapter of one of the books. It's not obviously Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. One of the other books I should know. Maybe I'll type it in the description. So here's my collection. I have two, actually. A promo copy of... Actually, no, that's not one of... So I have the EP, the first EP, which I think came out in 2005. It was just a self-titled. And, you know, honestly, I like this EP. I have not listened to it in so long. When I listen to their music, I don't listen to it regularly, but Jared Carnes, the drummer, who is now in a band called Hidden Hospitals, or most recently, which found probably more success than Kiss Kiss, for better or for worse. I'm glad he's found success. The lineup had changed a few different times, but those are the two members I recognize on here. But yeah, I mean, I can't even tell you College Film, maybe, or Says My Doctor. I haven't listened to this in so long, I can't tell you what my favorite track is. But it's a 5-track EP. You know, again, I think I got this after the fact, so then they put out their debut album in very early 2007. In fact, I think I heard it in late 2006. Like 2007 started, this was the first album I had known that had been officially released. I think they actually may have gotten a promo from them, but I found a promo in the store. This is one of the promos. It's called Reality versus the Optimist. And then they released here's the standard artwork of the CD. And the thing about this, among other things, compared to the EP, I know I enjoyed this more, and I've always enjoyed this album more. In fact, I'd probably consider this my favorite album of theirs in their short discography. But it's like 29 or 32 minutes long. I think it might be 32. It's prog rock of a sort, but it definitely they definitely perfected the sort of less is more. I think I mentioned already, they feature a violin, and that's kind of the interplay between the guitar and the violin, and Josh's vocals, and sort of a lot of, like, they use some synthesizers, and just there's all these little bits in their music that somehow segue, and I don't know, they crafted this. Every song on here I enjoy. Janet, and probably the last two tracks, the opening track Janet, and then Vagabond and Stay the Day, are sort of like my old-time favorites, go-to favorites. But I mean, Sixth Sense is great, Satellite, Dress Up. I mean, there's a lot of almost Zappa influenced parts in this, but it doesn't go too far, where it's just little snippets. They have their sense of humor, but it doesn't, you know, they've been compared to System of a Down. The other thing I can do is, this came out years later, they did issue that on vinyl, and I got Josh to sign it. Josh is a vinyl fan himself. In fact, I think he either has a YouTube channel or he's shown it on YouTube. He's shown his vinyl collection because I know he's a big King Crimson fan, but he loves, I don't know what punk bands would be a direct influence, like Bad Brains or some of the usuals, your Sex Pistols and Clash and Ramones. But yeah, these guys just, and the people that got into them really loved them. In fact, Joey Eppard from Three is a band I love, and I'll probably want to do a video about them at some point in the near future. Had talked about, because they knew Three, they were friends, I guess. Joey really wanted to work with Josh Banash because he really loved and admired the string arrangements that they did, it specifically on this record, Reality versus the Optimist from 2007. So then they put out, it seemed like it was going to come out much earlier, but it took more than 2 years. They put out their second album called The Meek Shall Inherit What's Left. And this album is a kind of a natural progression from Reality versus the Optimist. It's more, the production's better. In some ways it's more experimental, I guess you could say. But at the same time, there's a few parts, and in terms of the length, of course, Reality versus the Optimist, like I said, was known for being like 32 minutes. Like, it was short. It was short, but it was less is more. We were thinking as Kiss fans, like, maybe the new album will be a little longer, and I think this album ended up being about 36, 37 minutes. It wasn't that much longer, and that includes, I think it's the song Virus? Yeah, the last track. That has like a lot of sort of, I don't know, ambient noise, but it has like an extended 3, 4, 5 minute section that kind of is not really music, but just sort of part of the art, part of the whole writing. But so it was kind of a similar length in terms of numbers of tracks or songs when they put this album out in 2009. The Meek Shall Inherit What's Left. My go-tos on this record would be probably All They Draw, which, again, it kind of does remind me of Reality versus the Optimist. There's like these quick twists and turns and some piano, if I'm not mistaken. But it's catchy and quirky and, progressive. They use a lot of odd time signatures in both these records. Through the Day would be the other one. That one's probably the most pop-ish on this album. But If They Only Knew, Innocent Wong, Best Mistake. I haven't listened to this one as much, but I still will listen to it sometimes. Between the two albums, I would say if you've never heard them, go with Reality versus the Optimist first. But there's a couple videos they did, I think, for The Machine. Yeah, Machines or The Machine. And Satellite, I think, were maybe in the other one. But the other association, I mentioned Three and Joey Eppard. They're also, I noticed, a lot of fans of like Between the Buried and Me were fans of Kiss Kiss. I always thought that a perfect tour that could have happened would have been Between the Buried and Me, 3, and Kiss Kiss. Of course, 3 and Between the Buried and Me were on Progressive Nation with Dream Theater and Opeth in 2008. The other thing is they were on a tour with a couple other bands I love, 3, 1. So they had toured with 3. I forgot about that. And Caddisfly. Unfortunately, when that tour ended up coming to my town, the venue had a flood or something, or a fire, and both Kiss Kiss and 3 didn't actually make it. They just went to the next town, but Caddisfly actually did find another venue to play at. I saw Caddisfly. I'll tell that story in a concert memory sometime soon, but unfortunately that kind of started and ended my chance to see Kiss Kiss live. I never got to see them. They played also another tour a couple years later. That was in 2006, I think, or 2007, that one of the members got sick or something. So it was just like, wasn't meant to be for me ever to see. One of the members got sick when they were in Michigan, I think. So they didn't come to Minneapolis. So that in like 2009 or 2010, they kind of unofficially broke up, I think. But a couple things have happened related to Kiss Kiss since that period of time. For one, Josh Banash ended up forming another band which has similar elements to Kiss Kiss called Vuvuzela, Vuvuzela, and it was like Kiss, except it was, I don't think there was a lot of guitar on it, but there was a lot of piano. It was what I refer to as waltzy prog. The album came out in 2012, and it was called The Hollow Choir, and I loved it. You can still stream it on Bandcamp. I think some of the songs might be on YouTube also, but it's very much, if you like the two Kiss albums, you definitely would want to hear it if you have not. Most fans probably have heard these two, probably have heard the Hollow Choir. I don't think they ever issued any physical copies of it, because I never got one. So he also, Josh Banash, has done a couple of solo records. I think this is the only one that I have any physical versions, but this was, I think, his debut, which might have come out either the year before Vuvuzela's album or the year after. I can't remember, because he didn't... 2012, so it's like the same year. But this one's called the Dismal, the Beautiful. He's got a Bandcamp page, Josh Banash, and he's put out at least 1 or 2 albums since. And I would describe his solo music as more goofy out there than even the Kiss Kiss and Vuvuzela stuff. I mean, I know he does one song about pancakes. The Pancake Song. Yeah, that's on this album. I think I bought this from him. And, you know, I've had sort of a good... although not as much recently, but I've definitely, you know, exchanged discussions with him, and he knows I've always wanted to support him and the bands he's been in. So, but yeah, I mean, Kiss Kiss, while their name is a little odd, no relation to the band Kiss, and there's nothing sort of what I would say, you know. It's not necessarily against, but not necessarily for LGBTQ. It has nothing to do with that. It's just the name Kiss Kiss was just from that Roald Dahl novel, I believe. And it was a very distinct name. I don't know if they'll ever get back together. I know they did one reunion, I want to say maybe around the time of Vuvuzela, 2012 or 2013. And I actually was sent a bootleg from him, like a video or some audio stuff, like a bunch of unreleased MP3 stuff from around, I think... before Reality came out, Reality versus the around the EP here, which I can't find now, the self-titled EP. It was, but anyway, I can't really show MP3s. But I'd just say, you know, if you like sort of quirky but well-written, well-produced, like prog rock, modern prog rock that doesn't overstay its welcome, you like sort of you like good string arrangements, Kiss Kiss. And like very progressive music, like the Mars Volta fans I know were really into them too. Kiss Kiss are definitely a band still worth checking out. I'm not sure if they're on Spotify. I think that they are. I think at least Reality. I think both the albums are on Spotify. I don't know about this EP. But yeah, they'd be worth checking out. They're one of a handful of bands that I loved. Maybe someday they'll come back, but if not, we always, of course, you know, we've got the music to listen to and be inspired by and, you know, whatever. So, but thank you for watching. Thanks for anyone who subscribed recently. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time.